Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name of course is Resonant and today we have a special video here. I'm with Tintin Kobold and would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello, nice, thanks for the invitation. I am Tintin Kobold from Germany. I'm from generations.net, that's a developer team and we also play games. I for myself a programmer for let's say 15 years now. Mostly developing web apps and software and stuff like that. But also we are into gaming and we are long time persistent world, feudal world, Mount & Blade players. And we also had the plan to make a own mod because we noticed that some of the mods didn't work quite well as we wanted or as we wished it could be. And so the plan to make our own mod somehow came up. We then found generations.net. It's a small team, 3 people at the moment. And yeah, that's it. We started to make the mod and set up all this stuff you can read at ModDB and so on.
Okay, of course guys, there'll be links in the descriptions to all the ModDB stuff about the mod. So basically this is going to be a bit of an interview. A lot of you may be remembering my video a long time ago about mods in Mount & Blade Bannerlord, and I did mention the Medievalism mod. So this is going to be a bit of an interview with the developer of the Medievalism mod, sorry. And yeah, I'm just going to ask a few questions. So let's get right into it. So first of all, can I have a short explanation about what the mod is about?
Yeah, sure. That's absolutely no problem. So the mod in general is set up to be a mix of persistent world and feudal world. Most of the listeners here will know what I talk about and will be mixed with our own ideas. The main point is we don't think that the mods which are currently at the market are deep enough concerning player experience. We want to improve this. We want to make the player experience much more deeper. And the new Bannerlord tools will give us those possibilities to do so. So in general, there will be a medieval world. We don't want to make it feudal or ancient or Roman or whatever. We want to say it's medieval. And medieval contains a lot of stuff. You can add 100, 200 features in this and it's still not complete. So there's a big, let's say a big package in this, and there are some core features which I can explain later maybe. So finally, persistent world, feudal world, much more improved, but it's not persistent world and feudal world. It's very much our own ideas, and player experience is the main point we are aiming for.
Okay, so yeah, like you said, you're improving a lot on persistent world, but what playing persistent world, what things in there do you not like that you want to change? I saw it mentioned on the ModDB post, you don't like the loading bars when you're trying to train and things like that. What other things do you think you'll be improving from the persistent world mod?
First, loading bars, it's a good point you're mentioning. We hate loading bars. We think that loading bars in Mount & Blade it had to be so. It wasn't possible to make it the other way around maybe. Modding was very hard in Mount & Blade Warband. But we don't think that Bannerlord, on the one hand, there will be no necessity to use them because there will be a great variety of modding tools and scripting abilities. There will be an API, I don't know how you say this in English. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They also announced that there will be very deep access to the engine. You won't be able to directly change the engine or make your own game on this engine, but you will be able to go very deep inside. So loading bars won't be necessary. That's our current view. And we will replace this with good features like when you are mining ore, you have to really pick or really hit the rocks, and the rocks are rolling down the hill or something like that. When you are smithing, you have to hit the sword. You have to stick with the cooling and heating process, and this will affect quality of your stuff made and all this. So that's one point with the loading bars. Next thing, persistent world is, I won't flame this mod, but it's mostly fighting nowadays. It was meant to be something else. The original mod was made with some roleplay stuff and so on. Or it was planned that it will go this way, but it never went. Maybe on the beginnings, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
We want to move away from this. We don't want to stop fighting or something like that. We don't want to make a 100% roleplay game. We want to put all those different groups in one mod. And that's another core feature. So maybe there will be an area where you can do roleplay, and there will be the possibility to do wars or fightings next to this roleplay area. There will be a lot of balancing and scripting to make this possible. But this will all be in one map and in this one mod. That's our aim. We want to bring these groups together, which are always fighting against and have different servers with low population, and so they should all come together, which will also make a very interesting game for all. If you know, there's over there are the role players, over there are the fighters, and they all can mix together if they want. They can visit each other. They can all be together in this world. That's the thing we are really aiming for. This was not possible with Persistent World. It's just like a fighting simulation, like Clan Wars. You're gathering resources, and after, let's say, 5 hours, you have your full-bladed armor, and that's boring. Finally, we think it's boring. We want to reduce this. We want to make it more realistic, more interesting. Add a lot of new resources and items you can craft. Skill and leveling system is a thing. You remember training was made with a loading bar, if I'm right?
Yeah.
Just went to a stick or an item, let's say an item, press the button, and there you go. That's a thing which will be destroyed by us, or we won't make it this way. Every character will have some, let's say, different skill levels or different skill groups, or even every skill will be a single thing. And if you are working on that, you're improving. You can become a soldier. You can't train for that. You have to fight. You have to smith. You have to gather resources. You have to harvest. And while you're doing this, you're improving. You can't do anything at the same time. So if you're always fighting, you will lose skill points on other stuff. So there's a lot of balancing, and you can't be the hero without doing anything for it. You can, let's say, be a power player. You can spend a lot of hours in this game, so you can be very good in, let's say, 2 or 3 things. But you cannot do everything. And that's interesting because on the other hand, when there are a lot of fighters, there must be people who feed your horses or who feed yourself, who get the resources you need for the wars. You can't do magic. It must be produced, and this will be very much slower in our mod.
Okay, so what you're kind of saying is, training in Persistent World, you kind of just hold a button and then you get that class. But what you're saying is you have to level up, and you have to, if you want to be good at military stuff, you have to fight a lot. If you want to be good at smithing, you have to do a lot of smithing and things like that, and then you'll get leveled up in that stuff. Is that what you're saying? That's right. All right. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So if you want to improve in something, you have to in fact do it. You don't. It's not done by pressing a key. You have to make this experience by yourself.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's not made by pressing buttons or spamming buttons. It's made by living in this world and doing stuff. That's what we want.
Okay. So you did mention before when you were doing your quick explanation of it, what you mentioned you would talk about some of the core features. What are some of the core features that are going to be part of this mod?
Most of them I already mentioned. So core feature number 1, loading bars and player experience, how things are done, how it looks and feels, how deep it goes inside. I mean, imagine there's an ocean and you see this ocean and it's beautiful and you try to jump in and you just can't because it's not deep enough. Our aim is to make this much more deeper because good-looking things are not things that are working well. Form follows function. That's a common. I don't know how to say this.
A common saying, yeah. But, so you're saying like some things look nice on the edge, but they don't really have much detail, much depth in them. Star Wars Battlefront. Yeah.
It must function, it must work, it must feel really deep, and you must have fun with it, and you should spend hours and hours on it because you like this. But it only makes sense if it is functioning and it's balanced and it's very deep experience. You can make it look nice by any time afterwards. But first thing is good concept, good balancing, good economy stuff, and all this. So that's a very most that's the main point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So have you seen all the new things about Bannerlord, or the gameplay trailers and all the information that they've told about Bannerlord then? Have you been keeping up on track of that?
Oh yeah, that's a lot they have published, and sadly we don't want to blame them for this, but modding stuff is it's not much published yet.
Yeah.
We know that there will be a map editor or scene editor called. There will be this API, the scripting thing, which will make possible to change stuff like the game itself, some engine stuff, shaders maybe. We don't know much about it, but we are very close to this. We follow the devlogs, we follow the interviews, we follow every video or movie which is ever released. So we have a certain imagination of what could be. The problem is we don't know much about in detail.
Yeah.
We don't know if we can change, let's say, buildings, houses in real time on the map. We don't know if the engine supports this, or if we have to write this on our own. We don't know how the netcode is working, how much data can be transmitted in real time. That's stuff we don't know, but we stick very close to all this published stuff.
Okay, so that kind of takes me on to my next question. What features that you have already seen in Bannerlord or that you hope are going to be in Bannerlord, will you be able to take advantage of in making your mod? Like bigger maps, obviously the new modding tools. What kind of advantages are you going to be able to use for the new engine and things in Bannerlord?
I think there's a lot already. At first, the engine itself, just compare Mountain Blade Warband with Bannerlord. You will see the changes. Physics engine, we can use rocks, I already mentioned that if you do mining, rocks can roll down the hill and you have to collect it. That was a problem in Mountain Blade Warband. You weren't able to make this. The engine was too old, I would say. Or it was hard to program something like that. It was already always a mess to do so. And with Bannerlord and the focus on modding, I would say, as I understand what they did, they made modding tools, and with these modding tools they made their game. So with these modding tools we can make these mods and maybe other games if they would publish the engine. But they first made these tools for themselves and for us, and then they made this game. So everything they made will be possibly available for us. That's a very important thing. They show the game on all these devlogs and videos, but the main feature which this game which makes it so important and interesting is that they first made these modding tools. So they are already done. They never showed a lot about it. They showed the scene editor and map editor and this stuff and replay function and all this. But we never saw or heard anything about the scripting or so. But it's already done. It's mostly completed, I would say, and we can build on this. So that's a whole bunch of stuff which will be released. It's completely new engine they made, and we will be able to use this engine. That's great.
So what you're kind of saying is that it could be, if they release the engine, it could be possible for you to make a whole completely new game on this engine if you wanted to, because you've got so many modding tools from it.
Maybe yes, if the access to the engine is deep enough, you could make your own Bannerlord game, I would say. Maybe they restrict it to some certain point because they don't want the engine to be published completely. But if the access is deep enough, and what I know it will be, they said it, you could make your own Bannerlord game, or you could rebuild this game or make a better version or extend it like a DLC also. I think this will be possible, absolutely. Okay. And you can then use everything which is already made. So all stuff which you can see in the game, throwing rocks, doing all this castle expanding stuff, the engine itself with AI and the collision system that the characters are not merging together and stuff like that. That's already done. You don't have to care about this. You can concentrate on your modding stuff and your concept and all this. You don't have to write everything new. So main question maybe is, how can you change stuff? You maybe remember Feudal World.
Yeah.
Heads were rolling, and
that didn't last very long, did it?
That you could decapitate someone was new, and it's a new script inside.
All right.
And the question is, I didn't see this in Bannerlord. So how easy will it be to make something like this with the new scripting engine? But I think it will be absolutely possible. You maybe have to make a new model and replace this and that and 3 lines of code, and that's it. I think it will be very easy because they make a complete scripting engine, let's say this, or you will have a manual or something like this, and good programmed classes and all this stuff, and documentary will be very good maybe. So I think it will be very easy, and we can all use this. Mm-hmm. Another question was the map. It's not a big deal for us. We think that map size doesn't matter. Big maps are great and good, but too big maps are negative. You shouldn't expand the map to sizes where people don't meet each other. It's important that people meet each other and see each other. So we won't use this large map size maybe, but we are not sure about it. And creating maps, no question. With the new tools, absolutely easy. There will be beautiful maps. There will be a large variety of maps. And we will use this to make one main map, which is perfect. And if you extend this to more maps or more servers with different maps or anything like this, this has to be discussed. We cannot plan this yet. It's not possible.
Okay, so obviously you don't have any of the tools yet to do the modding stuff, but is there anything that you have done so far before Bannerlord is released? How much have you done in development? Is it just ideas at the moment, or are there a few things that you can actually do in terms of making the mod already?
Regarding the team, we have already done a lot of stuff. You can look at our homepage. There's something written about it. Also in ModDB we have written about it. We are experienced in modeling, map design and stuff like that. Also programming, of course. That's our main point. So we know what we do. Problem is, we don't are artists. That's maybe a point where we need new team members in the future.
Okay.
People who do more textures, more models, who help us. We can do this on our own, that's no problem, but maybe we need more people to release it in, not in 10 years, but in 1 year or so.
Yeah.
But we can do this. Maybe sound designer will be a problem. Nobody of us has any experience in making sounds or so. But we think if we show that this mod will be released at some day and that we can do this, people and team members will join.
Okay.
It's a problem at the moment. We see in the statistics of ModDB that there's some action and activity around Bannerlord, but I don't want to say a wrong word, but marketing and advertising for Bannerlord is quite bad, I would say. They just do some stuff, some devlogs, some videos, but we can't see much activity. It's not increasing, but we don't think that people are generally not interested in this. They are very interested, but there's no community yet. There's no hype yet. Maybe it's good. Hype is bad if it's too much.
Like No Man's Sky, that whole thing about No Man's Sky.
Oh
too
my
much,
God,
too
yes.
much hype.
That's a perfect example on what we don't want to make, because that's a game where just harvest for harvesting and your craft for crafting, and there's no aim. That you do this for nothing. I think that's my opinion on this game. So that's the completely opposite of what we are aiming for, and we think that doing so and taking care of this point is very important for making a successful mod or game. Yes. So it's hard to get new people in this. It's hard to increase the watchers at ModDB because there's so low activity around Bannerlord. Videos are well viewed, I would say. Steam group is exploding, but everything else is just coming up. It's not. It's not at a big state at the moment.
Okay.
But we will see. I think if we start with this and we show that things are working, artists will come, interested people will come, and then everything is well.
Mm-hmm. So that takes me on to my final question here, and that is, once Bannerlord is released, just estimating, how long do you think before you'll be able to release this mod? Is it at a stage where it'll be in the next year once Bannerlord is, or will it take a couple of years for it to actually come into release date?
That's a very hard question to answer because, as I already mentioned, on different websites and comments and in this interview, we don't know much about these modding tools. We don't know how long it will take for us to script stuff and to make the map and so on. So it's very hard to say. Our plan is to make a very early version of the mod. Strictly speaking, at the first day where the game is published, we want to make the first version of the mod. It will be something like a moving hand or a moving sword, or a sword is falling down from a character because he lost it or something like that. But we are really aiming for fast and step-by-step development. So we are not sure when it's the right day to say, okay, we can release this, or we can start beta and make a server for others to join and look at it. It's very hard to say. I can't.
Okay.
But I don't think it will take years. First stuff will be made within weeks, maybe days. But that's not the time where we would say it's a mod which is ready and we can play it. That's the first steps. There will be a magic day where we say, okay, we like the mod, we have fun playing it ourselves. That's also one main thing, that we have fun playing it and not developing something which is artificial. Also, we want to have fun. And if this point is reached, we maybe say, okay, let's get some people involved and make the community bigger, add the at the wishes and the criticism of the community and so on. This will be a process. It's not you're doing this and there's this day where you make this and it's ready. It's more like a process. And it's hard to say when this process is far enough to say, okay, let's get some people involved. But we are hurrying up. So we're not aiming for many years of development or something like this. This would ruin the whole idea, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's all my questions that I've got so far. Is there anything else you want to add, or have you answered pretty much everything you want to tell people about the mod?
Most stuff is online, most stuff has been said, but very important is we like persistent world players, we like feudal world players, we like role players, we like fighters, we like all of them. That's a main, that's one thing which is misunderstood a lot, which I've read. So we want to get them all together. That's a very important thing, which I want to publish to the community and the viewers of your interview, or of our interview. And next thing is, I have to repeat this often again. It's not persistent world and it's not feudal world and it's not the next level of this. It's something completely new. And I hope that people notice and that they trust in us and that they trust in our administration, because, that's a point I forgot. Good administration is also a core feature we are aiming for. So no corrupt admins, no admins which are sticking to one faction or so. This should be fair and neutral to all. So we are really looking forward to build up a mod and a community around this, which includes a bigger group of players which are playing friendly and fair together, using the tools we are giving them with this mod.
Okay, so alright, thank you for that. So if you guys enjoyed that interview, go and check out the Medievalism mod page on ModDB. There's a few more things on there if you want to know anything more about the mod. Also, just leave some comments on there if you have any more questions for Tint and Kobolds there. But apart from that, thank you for that interview there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to this mod, and I'm sure a lot of other people are. So good luck with the development of it, and can't wait to see what comes of it once Bannerlord is released.
Yeah, thank you very much.
But apart from that, yeah, go check out this mod, link in the description. Stay subscribed to the channel, and I'll try and keep you updated on the Medievalism mod as much as possible. But until then, I will see you in the next one.